We love getting your questions, so we want you to keep them coming via Facebook, Twitter, and on our webpage. Who knows, we might just answer your question here in the studio audience next. Today on an all-new Daily Helpline. So tell me, as Armand, who is Armand?
I use Wonder Woman as a personification because everyone sees Wonder Woman. They don't know what happens when she's home, and that's how I feel.
For me, it's hard to watch you just continue to get stepped all over.
I want to stop this. It's a sickness.
There is no guarantee when it comes to love.
I'm just tired of the pain.
Never felt a love like this.
Newsflash, you are
You're
a father.
a father.
Hello and welcome to the Daily Helpline. I'm Miles Edcox.
And I'm Spirit. First up, Darcy just got engaged to her boyfriend and now has a question for us. All right, so fire away. You've got a question for us.
I have a question. I want to know, I've been used pretty bad in the past and probably to my own fault as well. I want to know, even though this man loves me and I know he loves me, I've never felt love like this before, how do I know if I'm being used or taken advantage of?
So tell us about the relationship.
It's been kind of rocky because I've felt as though that I'm somewhat being used, and so I cop an attitude. I get kind of crummy. And so he's left. He's gone back to his place before out of state. And then he's come back because I really miss him and want him back and everything else.
Okay, so stop, because this is a huge contradiction to me, and we need all the pieces here. So in one breath, I hear you say, he loves me, I know he loves me, I've never been loved like this before. And then on the other side, you go, but I feel like he's using me. He's out of the place, I'm treating him crummy, but then I want him to come back. Does that sound like a contradiction to you?
When he came to live with me for the first 2 months, you know, hey, no problem. It's okay, I got you covered. You know, after that, when you get a job, then start paying your portion. You know,
Wait, when you get a job?
When he got a job.
So he was unemployed when he came to live with you?
Yeah, because he came from out of state and then came to California.
Okay.
And so, and I understand that. And I had no problem helping, you know?
Okay.
No problem whatsoever.
Okay, hold on, because I don't think Darcy's given us the full timeline. Okay, so let's make this make sense.
Okay.
So in January of 2013, you met your fiance online.
Correct.
Correct?
Yes.
And then 2 weeks later, you flew to Las Vegas
To meet him.
to meet him. And you guys spent 4 days together.
Yes.
Okay? Then in May, so 5 months later, you break up by phone.
He called on the phone. He said, look, this is just going too fast and whatever. And so that was the end of that.
Okay.
I didn't talk to him and until then.
4 months later.
Correct.
Then he calls out of the blue, out of 4 months. He calls and says, I love you, right? But he also says, I'm broke and I don't have a job.
He was working where he was in another state. And you know, but he wasn't going to stay there for permanency. And I said, well, hey, I said, you know, we talked about it before. Why don't you just come to California?
Okay.
And, you know, and move in and, you know, let's just.
So then, still in September, you say, sure, no problem. Go ahead and drive to California and move in with me.
Sure.
Now, you spent almost $4 grand getting him here.
Well, in the 2 months that he's been here until now, I mean, I'm including my house payment. He was paying no rent, no nothing, no bills, no grocery money.
Even though he was working before he came.
Yeah.
And then in November, he finally gets a job, and you say, okay, now I need you to kick in because you hadn't been supporting, and how did he take that?
He was a little put off, to be honest with you, and I was shocked. I mean, I couldn't believe it. I mean, he talks about how he wants to be a man and how he wants to take care of me, and you know, he's a lot of lip service is what he is. But
you've never felt a love like this.
It's kind of ass backwards, and it's like, I know it's screwy. I mean, I think I'm screwy, you know, and I hate it.
And it's like, I get so pissed off at myself, you know, and I have such a big heart. And I'll give the shirt off my back to anybody, you know, who needs it, because I don't want people to feel pain. And so, but then I help, and then I get taken advantage of. But it's like, you know, so I just keep waiting. I just keep waiting.
I'm exhausted just by hearing you talk. I cannot imagine how tired you must be.
I am, because I believe in people and I trust people too much.
And this is not just about him. I don't believe for a second that this is just about him. I think that you've been waiting for a lot longer than just this relationship. And what do you think, Miles?
I think we need to bookmark this relationship and talk about you.
Right.
When did this pattern of you being used start?
Oh, when I was a teenager. I never really cared about myself. I didn't care about me. I wanted to see everybody else prosper and everybody else flourish. And it's okay, I'll help you. I'll help you get to where you need to go, because I love to see people shine. I really do.
I want to look at some of the ways that you've helped other people shine. Can we do that?
Sure.
Okay.
3 years ago, gave a male friend a $5,000 credit card advance. Never got paid back. 2 years ago, met a man on the internet. Saw him twice, loaned him $60. Took 5 months to get paid back. 2.5 years ago, lent an associate $5,000. After 2 years, finally got paid back $2,000. And 2 months ago, lent truck to an acquaintance. Truck came back with no gas, and you never got paid for the gas money.
What would make you give this much of yourself to someone that you barely know?
If I have an opportunity to help you, I will help you. You know, does that make any sense? I mean,
What are you searching for? You're doing everything you can to try to get your needs met out here somewhere, but there's some kind of big hole I'm seeing that started.
I guess just, you know, a real, to be loved. Unconditionally loved for who I am.
Have you ever been?
By my father. And when I lost my dad, I lost everything.
When did that happen?
10 years ago. He was my everything. I could tell him anything and everything, and he made me feel like a human being, like I wasn't, because I have diabetes, and I'm visually impaired, and I feel like, you know, he understood me, you know, but there's been nobody. There's really been nobody that's made me feel, you know, he made me not care about it. It was my dad.
Here's what I see. I see a pretty extreme case of codependency. Okay, basically you're trying to get your needs met by external things and people, and when they don't come through, you're completely left broken, unloved, and none of your needs are getting met. And guess what? They will never be able to meet your core needs. The one person that can meet your core needs is sitting in front of us. But I think this is a pretty deep-seated pattern that goes all the way back to the first hurt, maybe when you were a teenager, and then you had the second piece. It's very common after you lose somebody really close for the grief to turn into some kind of traumatic pain and this whole cycle. And it's exhausting to try to live out. I think you need an intervention. I think we need to pull you out of your environment and get you somewhere safe where you can take a look at some of these things. If we were to offer you something like that where you could really look deeply at what's going on so we can finally break this pattern, how do you feel about that?
I do it because I want to get myself, I want to stop this. It's a sickness.
You have to stop this. There's not much of a future for Darcy unless we can arrest this thing now. So what I'd like to offer you is there's a place called Onsite in Tennessee, and they are world-renowned and known for treating codependency, love addiction, coexisting dependencies. Incredible. They bring in some of the top therapists in the country, some brilliant minds to work on. But the most important thing is it's in a really safe and loving place. They've got 1-week programs that are like a year's worth of therapy.
wow.
And we want to give you the opportunity to send you there. Would you accept this gift?
I would, I feel really blessed that you guys are even doing that. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. I really feel like if you lean into this opportunity, it will change your life. This is not something that you need. It's something you deserve. And so we're going to give you this gift because you showed up in a real way today, and I think it's going to be life-changing for you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Coming up.
She wants the perfect man, and in fact, she gave us a list of non-negotiable traits her perfect man should have.
Give me your list.
Okay. No, no, Spirit, no, no.
We're back with our next guest, Marquita. Now, Marquita is looking to meet the perfect man. Her past relationship didn't work out so well, and Marquita wants to make sure the next Mr. in her life is Mr. Right. Welcome, Marquita, everybody. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Now, the perfect man, Marquita?
When I say perfect, I mean perfect for me.
Ah, okay. I feel better.
I still don't hear the difference, but continue
Oh, wow.
on.
Well, you know, I was in a long-term relationship, and in that relationship, we went into the relationship knowing that he was gay, or shall I say attracted to men.
Okay, I just got to ask the obvious question.
I knew it was coming.
How do you stay in a relationship with a man that you believe is gay?
You know, our faith, our Christian belief, and the fact that that was not something that he wanted. Because I did at least have enough sense to recognize that it had to be something that he wanted. But apparently what he wanted wasn't strong enough to change what he desired.
Okay, let's forget about him.
Yeah,
Let's forget about him. Let's talk about you right now.
Yeah.
What is it that you want now?
Well, I'm getting older. My biological clock is ticking. And I would love to fall in love with somebody that, you know, had all of the qualifications on my list. And sometimes I feel like, you know, am I being too hard? I mean, what is it? Like, I feel like my list is fair.
Well, I
We're
want
going
to
to
see
talk
the
about
list.
this list. Let's take a look. I'm going to read these off.
They're laughing already.
1, must be heterosexual. 2, loyal to me. 3, loyal to Christian faith. 4, must support my dreams. 5, great hygiene. 6, love my music. 7, financially stable with good credit. 8, mixed race.
What does
9, tall. 6'2" to be specific. And good looking. So let's just do this real quick, just for fun.
Okay.
So I think I'm a pretty good guy.
Yeah.
We haven't known each other very long.
Yeah.
Let's see how I shake out on your list. What do you think?
I mean, just based on what I see, you're beautiful. I mean, you're very handsome.
Number 10, check. Good looking.
Are you tall, Miles? How tall are you?
6'2".
That's 2.
9. I don't know how we're going to get away with the mixed race thing.
Well, you're out. It's non-negotiable.
No.
That's right.
Give me
All
your
right.
list. Give me your list. Give me your list.
Okay. No, no, Spirit, no, no. Don't do it, Spirit.
This is what you have to understand in all seriousness,
Okay.
is that some of these things on this list, obviously for you, have to be there. Does he have to be heterosexual? Obviously, you're looking for a heterosexual man. Does he have to be loyal to you? Absolutely. But some of these things that are on this list, mixed race, tall, 6'2" or above, he has to love my music. Girl, if he loves you but loves something totally different, why does that matter?
I guess those are areas that I may eventually be able to negotiate. And as far as music, music is a very, very big part of me as a singer. So it's like, you know, I don't want him not understanding the importance of music. If I have to record, go to the studio, if I have gigs, he has to be able to embrace that, because I feel like compatibility takes priority over compromise, just from my experience.
I think there's something deeper here. Well, for one, if I were to meet, I mean, obviously you're beautiful. I can tell you're really smart. I'm grounded in your faith. But when I look at that list, and even when I hear you talk about it, I immediately feel like, well, I don't measure up. And so I'm wondering if it's me that's not measuring up, or if it's you that's not measuring up.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. I mean, when you're in a relationship for that long, you're never good enough. When you're in a relationship where someone does not want you, then it kind of does chisel at you. It chisels away, and you start to feel like.
Feels like your past relationship really beat you down.
It did.
Marquita, hold that thought for us. There's a lot more that we need to talk to Marquita about, so stick around and we'll be right back with more after this. Coming up, talk to us about being vulnerable.
I just want to be happy, and for so long I felt like, even spiritually, do I have a right to be happy?
Welcome back. We're here with Marquita, who's struggling to move on after a long-term relationship. Well, you talk about being loyal, so I want to talk to someone else who's also loyal to you, and that's one of your friends, okay? So we have Marquita's best friend, Holly, joining us today by phone. Holly, are you there?
Yes.
Tell us what's going on with Marquita.
Well, I think you really just brought the concept of what's going on with her to the forefront by you saying everything on that list is her. She is a very loyal person. She is very passionate about her music. She's a wonderful, attractive, very hygienic person. And I think maybe somewhere inside of her she thinks that the only other person that's going to fit with her is someone who is just like her. But she's had so much in her life, sometimes it makes us unbendable.
So Holly, let me ask you this, because if she's unbendable, this will be a problem for her. So if she was in this relationship where this man duped her, lied to her, made her believe something, is she angry at this point?
I think she's worked through that anger. I really believe she's worked through a lot of the anger issues.
So you tell us.
Are you angry still, Marquita?
I thought I wasn't. And the way that I identified that I was still angry was how I deal with other relationships in my life. Not even necessarily potentially intimate relationships, you know, with girlfriends, people that I meet, you know, that I may work with. You know, I think that something is still in there. Maybe it's not the anger, but it's definitely that defensiveness, that reservation, that constant like, are you lying to me?
And so are you angry and defensive and mistrustful of the individual, or are you angry and mistrustful and defensive with yourself?
It may be a combination of both. I'm definitely still working through why did I allow myself to go through that for that long.
You're still going through it.
You know what? I really don't want to cry. Like, I really, you're
Because
right.
if you cried, then what would happen?
It makes me feel vulnerable.
And if you're vulnerable, then what happens?
I'm taken advantage of. I just want to be happy. And for so long, I felt like, even spiritually, do I have a right to be happy at the expense of someone else's pain? And was this person that I was in the relationship a horrible person? No, no more than anyone else, I don't believe. Everyone has their thing, but it affected me greatly. And I do recognize that it was my choice. And so now I feel like I need to change my choices and I need to stick to them. And I literally feel like that's why I'm like iron. Like I just don't have room to bend.
A relationship is about being vulnerable. You can't expect someone to get in there and to love you and to open up and to tell you their dreams and to walk with you into yours if you can't be vulnerable with them. So talk to us about being vulnerable.
It may be fear that's there, that if I'm vulnerable, I'm going to get hurt. If I'm vulnerable and if I'm open about how I feel, I may get hit. I may get called a name.
Because I've been hit before.
Yeah.
And it didn't feel good.
And it didn't feel good. And I'm just tired of the pain. And I guess I just need to know how to process the pain. But I know that's true when you say that I have to be willing to be vulnerable with somebody if I expect them to be open with me.
Love is about being vulnerable. Love is about taking chances. And there is no guarantee when it comes to love. You're looking for the sure shot. I'm looking for the sure shot. We're all looking for the sure shot, but it doesn't exist. It's being willing to show up and to say, I've been hurt before. I made some bad choices. I chose to stay too long. I chose to love where I probably shouldn't have invested my love. I chose to place myself in situations that I probably shouldn't have been, but I've learned from that, and I want something different, and I'm making myself vulnerable enough to allow it into my life.
Wow. I receive.
Thank you for being real with us, with all
And
of us.
thank you for receiving that. Be bold.
Be bold.
Be fearless. Good luck.
Thank you.
Good luck. Next, he graduated high school early, got scholarships for college, and drives a luxury car. So why is his family giving him grief? We'll answer that question when we come back. Coming up.
Tell me how your family weighs you down.
For the past 6 years, I've been through a living hell. That's when I need the most support, but that's when I get badgered down so much. And it's hard because family is all you have.
Welcome back. Our next guest on the Daily Helpline is Vernon. Now, Vernon, I just want you to just take it away and tell us why you're here today.
All right, I feel like I'm on the brink of success, and I want to stay positive. However, my family is weighing me down.
Tell us more. Wait, I want to hear, what does it mean to be on the brink of success?
I feel like for the past 6 years, like prior to my collegiate career and everything like that, I've been through a living hell.
Okay.
And by the grace of God, I've been able to find myself and align myself with God and start walking towards what I want to do in life. And I've been able to get acting gigs left and right and just, just get in the scene. Like, I want to be in the entertainment industry, and things are really coming along right. I'm finding the right friends and mentorships, to foster that. But in doing so, I feel like the more that I get closer to where I'm supposed to be, the more that everybody else is criticizing me or
Tell me how your family weighs you down. I mean, what exactly do they do?
It's just a lack of support. And so sometimes I feel like when things are really great, that's when I need the most support, but that's when I get badgered down so much. And it's hard because it's like, I don't want to leave my family. Your family is all you have.
Right.
And if all else fails, who's going to be my safety net?
No, but let me ask you this, though. Are they being critical, or are they trying to help you along with making sure that you're hitting the right points? I hear the college piece. I hear the career piece.
No, I wouldn't. I would say that it's more critical than anything. I feel like at times, like some of them feel like they can't relate to what I want to do and where I'm from, and I feel like a lot of people feel if you can't relate, then you just tear it down. A lot of people are complacent. They're afraid to break the boundaries and do what they have to do, and I'm the complete opposite of that.
But are you saying that they've never been proud of you? They've never supported you?
It's kind of one of those. They'll support you when it's convenient. And it sucks because that's the thing. Like sometimes, like you're glad, like, oh yeah, like they're supporting me, but to me, it's just like it's a fake.
Really.
It's not real,
Right.
We want to learn a little bit more about how this has impacted you. So, let's look at the social media pictures you posted and the messages some family members sent you.
Okay.
Well, what I see here is that you posted on social media, blessed. It's a keychain of a luxury car.
Yes.
And then someone commented and said, so you think you're blessed because you drive a luxury car?
That irritated me a lot.
Why would you post that? Well, let me ask you this, better question. If it wasn't a luxury car, would you have posted that same picture?
I would have posted the same picture.
So if it was a Kia key,
Oh, I would have.
If it was a Toyota.
If it was a Kia, I'm telling you, if it was a Kia, I would have had my selfie. I'm like, I'm in my Kia. I'm not really. I mean, I like nicer things in life, but I understand that those things aren't necessities. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't. But that to me, like, I was just glad to have another reliable source of transportation to get around and do what I had to do.
Talk to us about. Wait, see, because we know a little bit more than what you're getting at. Talk to us about the birthday party.
Well, this is the thing. Hold on. It's kind of rough, but my thing is to eat. I like to go out and eat. I'm the person that's on Yelp or Groupon like every day. Like, oh, what's the next deal? for my birthday, I was like, you know what, like I just want to go to Philippe's. Like it's super expensive, but it's something that, you know, they could have afforded. And I'm like, well, I want my cousins to be here. Like I want them to experience like this side of life. Like this is, you know, like just come here and just enjoy some good food. And in the midst of doing that and inviting everybody, like, of course, initially they're all gonna say, yes, we're gonna go. But then that turned into like, oh no, we're not going. Like, you're just trying to show out. And I'm like, seriously? Like, I'm trying to do something for you guys to come. And then it turns into like, oh, we're on our way. Oh no, wait, we're not on our way. Why should we come with you and your bougie friends? I'm like, it's just completely unnecessary at times. And to me, it's like, you know that I'm not that type of person. So to even put that label on me.
So there's this thing that we say, that sometimes you have to meet somebody where they're at. What you want for yourself and where you're wanting people to go isn't always where they want to be. So I hear what you say. I want college. I want an entertainment career. I want to live a particular lifestyle. But it doesn't sound like your family has that same desire. Is that okay for you?
That's something that I'm trying to accept. And it's something I'm accepting like literally like day by day. But I know that I have to accept that. That's the hard part. Like that's the tug of war. It's just that particular thing right there.
Is it possible that in the same way that you're struggling every day to accept that, could they be struggling to accept your good?
That's true. That's a good. I never thought of it like that.
Yeah.
But that makes a lot of sense.
Family is about love and support and meeting one another where we are and giving what we need in order to make us happy.
That's true.
Your sense of happiness may not be theirs. And so instead of trying to pull them to where you are, perhaps you can simply embrace and say, I want all my cousins with me. They don't like this restaurant, but I know they like this one. So let me choose and we all go here. Because what's more important is having them with me.
And you've got a much better chance of making it to where you want to go if you embrace where you are. Show up with some humility, give your family a little grace, and there may need to be some boundaries because I can see it's impacting you, but I think you're on the right track.
Take them for a burger and fries in the hood where they want. Okay? Good luck to you. Good luck to you. More when we come back right after this.
Tonight, I am in preparation for my event as the fabulous Imani Phoenix. When I get dressed up as Imani, I feel fabulous. I feel on top of the world. Imani is fearless. Imani is a beautiful plus-size woman, capable of doing any and everything. Sometimes I feel like I'm living a double life. When I'm Imani, I'm this big superhero. She makes a lot more money than I do, has more gigs, and has a much fabulous life than I do. But I feel like I'm the chauffeur for Imani. And I want to learn how to feel that same way when there is no show, when there is no glitz and glamour, feel the same way comfortable about myself because I'm the same person. I just put on some makeup, that's it.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to Armand.
How are you? Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you as well.
So you have to help me understand this. What is going on here?
Well, as you can see, I'm a professional drag queen. Basically, I just need help trying to balance out who I am when I'm not in drag. Imani Phoenix gets hard to love, but when I'm not in drag, I seem like I'm invisible.
Why invisible?
I don't get the same attention. It's hard for me to date. No one really, knows who I am unless I remind them who I am when I'm not on stage. It's like once those lights are off and the wig and everything comes off, it's like I'm a different person, but I made Imani, not the other way around.
So tell us the difference. Who's Armani? If you could tell us who Armani is.
She's, fabulous, invulnerable. As a plus-size woman, you can't tell her nothing. She knows who she is. As a plus-size man, it's a different world. And so I'm trying to balance that out. I get treated differently. Everyone loves Imani. I feel like mahogany. Men love me, women love me, everybody loves me. But not so much as Armand.
So tell me, as Armand, who is Armand?
I mean, I'm a hard worker. I'm entertaining, I'm loving, I'm a good friend. Imani just helps me bring that out more, to who I
Don't
really
tell
am.
me about Imani.
Okay, I'm gonna put her on the back burner.
Go tell Imani to have a seat on the stage.
She may tell you have a seat.
That's okay. I'm seated.
Right.
But I want to talk to Armand.
Okay. I'm a good friend. I'm a good person. Loving, caring, genuine, real as ice water. You don't get no better than when you have me as a friend or an associate.
What I'm hearing is what you hope to be, or maybe what you deeply believe that you are, and you're trying to teach us how to help you get into that space.
Right.
You're dealing with a very real issue that you happen to live it out loud, but all of us deal with it. I think we all have this duality of hiding a part of who we are and always wanting and longing to be it, to be living out loud. You do it. And so I really want to know, tell me about the heart. Don't tell me what you think you are. Tell me about the heart. You started to.
Right. Again, it's so many different layers to who I am. And when I'm on stage, I can forget that. I can forget that adversity of life. I can forget being an African-American male, being a plus-size man, being an openly gay man. When I'm Imani, all those things diminish because I grew up in the hood. I have that, all those things are behind me. When I'm on stage, I get to live a life and be who I feel like I am on the inside. The inside doesn't match the out. Even as far as losing weight, I've lost some weight recently. I don't get to see that as myself. I see it when I'm Imani because, as you know, women's clothes are much more tailored. Society just treats men a little bit differently.
So, but that's all the outside stuff, and those are extra things.
Right.
Tell me about what's going on in your life. Do you have anybody serious that you're dating?
No.
Ooh, I saw the roll.
No. Dating is very much a challenge. Being in the mecca of LA and Hollywood, everyone is looking for outside stuff. And so I don't fit the criteria. I'm not the most masculine. I'm not the most smallest, person. And it hurts because I don't get to express who I am on the inside versus the out. When I'm Imani, it's a little bit different. I've tried to date, and it's like coming out of the closet again. I have to tell them, oh, I'm a drag queen. And it's like, oh, okay. But if I meet somebody as Imani, they love me, or the minute I tell them that I'm not a transgender, or sometimes they even think I'm a real woman, which is fine by me.
So, but let me ask you this, because you keep going back. I can tell that Imani is your safeguard. That is your blanket. She makes everything all right for you.
Yes.
But you are Armand.
Right.
She is just one piece of who you are. So when you peel back all of that and you go out and you say, well, out there in the streets, whoever I'm meeting, whoever I'm talking to, if I'm introducing them to Imani, that's different. Tell me about when you introduce them to Armand. Who are you introducing?
I'm introducing a closet load of baggage.
Let's talk about the baggage.
From childhood to present day, it's a lot going on.
Armand, what's the baggage?
Being taken away from my parents at an early age, sexual abuse, physical abuse, finding out, that my father wasn't my father until I'm in the courts, growing up in a family of men who are over masculine, being a pretty feminine gay man, even in the South LA. I had to deal with that. I had to learn how to fight at an early age, physically and mentally. And so I carry a lot of that with me today. I'm very guarded as Armand. Very guarded, because it's too much. I've learned to deal with it because that's the only way to survive. I've been through so much in my 35 years on this world. It's painful. It really is to deal with it. I don't even try to think about it every day because I would depress myself.
And so, see, I'm thinking that you're already depressed.
Well, yeah, clinically and but yes, I am.
So talk to me about that piece.
That's difficult. It's very difficult the balance dealing with when I'm not working. I've always been a worker. So when I'm on stage, I can forget all those things. I can forget that, because when I'm on stage, I move around like I'm your size.
But tell me that you're not on stage.
That's
Tell
a
me.
different story. Life just hits me, and it hits me hard. It hits me really, really hard, and I try to deal with it every day. Again, I use Wonder Woman as a personification because everyone sees Wonder Woman. They don't know what happens when she's home, and that's how I feel. When I'm not on stage? How do I deal with that? Everybody thinks, oh, she has a wonderful life. She don't need nobody. You've never seen Wonder Woman with a man other than Superman. But honey, mama gets vulnerable, and so do I.
Okay, so we've got a lot of work that we got to do. Stick around, and we'll be right back with more after this. Welcome back to the Daily Helpline.
The problem is that you're masking the pain.
Yes.
And
You
I
don't
think you
get
showed up
vulnerable.
and you knew that.
Yeah.
You've turned into this human doing. And in the meantime, you've lost your human being.
Right.
And I think you do things really well. Clearly, you've done well in your career, but we still don't know who you are.
Right.
When you showed us who you were was when you talked about the pain and what happened.
Right. It's really hard. When I turned 30, my theme was balance, because I've always been a caregiver. I've become codependent. I've gone to codependency. I don't indulge in anything. I joke and tell people my addictions are shopping, food, and men. And I've used my food, overeating, as a crutch, to deal with those things, to deal with society, to deal with fellow friends. Now, I see people on Facebook and they, like I said, they love Imani. But I remember when I was being teased for being overweight and not being a so-called thug living in South Central. And now that I've gone the extra step and can get paid for it, people acknowledge that. But I've always been this way. I'm always reaching out to people and being there for my friends and my family, but no one is there for me because I don't allow them to be there for me.
But I have somebody. I have somebody who's here for you, okay? We have a special guest in the audience today that we want to introduce to Armand. His name is Lance Hara, but he's also known as Vicky Vox. Lance, please stand up.
Oh my God.
Lance was a part of the successful drag pop act GWV Lance, and his group has performed worldwide, and their music videos on YouTube have gotten over 13 million hits. Lance, I really want you to talk to Armand here.
Armand, my heart's breaking. I completely identify with everything you've said, and it's a struggle that is so real in our community that if you're not a cookie cutter, look, I still have Vicky on me when I walk around, you know what I mean? Right. If you're not a cookie cutter, then you don't fit in, but you didn't fit in the straight world either. You got this. Imani takes over all the time.
You know that.
Hello. And on stage, the world is your oyster, and you completely take over. You need to let Imani take care of you, because Imani is a part of you.
Lance, it sounds like you've walked this path before.
Yes, sir.
And do you feel like you're on the other side of it?
I feel like it's a constant struggle. I feel like everybody goes through it every day, just being okay with themselves and getting out of their own way and giving themselves permission to just live. And Armand, if you're down, let's go have a Sunday fun day. Kick it.
Oh, I'm down too.
The important thing is that you've experienced this, and I think
That's
you've
right.
got some tools that you can drop in for
Absolutely.
Armand. And that's how we're going to help you. There's this thing in 12-step programs called a sponsor-sponsee relationship.
Yes.
Sounds like you're familiar with it. You need a mentor, and that's why we found you somebody, and Lance is going to take good care of you. I need you to be open, stay vulnerable, stay connected, and be accountable. Let Armand come out and play. It starts here today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's right.
Thank you very much.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Can I
Good luck
hug
to
you?
you. Thank you so much for joining us. And now, if you have a question you want answered, you can send us a Facebook post, tweet us, or send us a message on our website. We've got a chair right here waiting for you.
Now, recently, we received an email from a man who calls himself Lost in Laguna. And here's what he had to say.
Dear Miles and Spirit, I'm 41 years old, and 3 years ago I had a one-night stand. Now I pay child support every month for a daughter I've never met. The problem is my mother is 63 years old and I've never told her about my daughter. I don't want to tell her because I'm afraid she's going to want me to become more involved in the girl's life, and I just don't even want to think about the fact that I have a kid. But I feel guilty that I can't give my mother the grandchild she wants before she dies. What do you think I should do? Please help. Lost in Laguna.
Okay, now Lost in Laguna didn't want to come on the show, but he does need guidance. So we have him on the phone right now. Lost in Laguna, are you there?
Yes, I am.
So, but before I give you my answer and Miles gives you his, tell us what it is that you're so afraid of, or why it is that you don't want to get involved in your child's life.
Well, I kind of enjoy my life. I'm a lifeguard. I have kind of an easy life, and I'm really not in any position to be a father figure, and I don't have that desire.
So there's two different things, though. There's a difference between I'm not in a position to be a father figure and I don't have a desire.
That's true. I guess it's both.
Well, guess what? Newsflash, you are
You're
a
a
father.
father.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, that's true.
I think you got to get your head out of your tail here and wake up and start acting like a man. I get it. Maybe you're not cut out to be a dad. I get that. But to try to avoid it altogether, I'm not buying what you're selling. I don't like it. There's part of me, for the kid's sake, that wants you not in the picture, just to be honest with you. But I really think you need to evaluate where you are as a human being. First, you need to come to terms with who you are before you even get your mom into this picture.
And let me say this as a parent, because I have 5 children. 1, 2, 3, 4, yes, 5. And what I would say to you is, especially with the first child, most people are totally caught off guard about what it means to be a parent. No parent thinks that they're ready right in the beginning. But you're not just talking about your own life. You're talking about a child who's here, who probably loves you, needs you, and wants to know who her father is. And then there's the other piece of this. You say that your mother, her grandmother, desperately wants to have grandchildren. What do you think this might be doing to her if she finds out later on that you've kept this from her the entire time?
Yeah, that would be lots of trouble for sure. Definitely.
What do you really want from us? What are you asking?
I guess maybe the encouragement to try to figure out if I can do that. It's probably fear, I guess, like you're saying. The first child, you don't really know what
I get
to
it.
do.
I get it. Listen, I've created this little life that's almost 3 years old, doesn't know me from Adam. What am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to do it? My answer to you is just show up. Just show up. Hello, I'm your dad. Let's go get some ice cream, and then you take it from there. But the thing about it is that you have to be ready. You're not wanting your life to change, and you're being selfish. Just remember this. It's not about you. It's not about her. And you don't even necessarily have to have a relationship with her. You have to have a relationship with your child. So you know where she is. You know that they want you involved. Take baby steps and simply show up. Good luck to you.
All right, good luck. Thanks for calling.
Good luck to you. Ooh, that's a tough one. They all were, but not without answers. We want to thank all of our guests today for sharing their stories with us, and special thanks to you for spending part of your day with us as well.
We'll see you next time here on the Daily Helpline, and until then, we're going to keep this chair warm for you.
Come on, come on. Getting your questions, so we want you to keep them coming via Facebook, Twitter, and on our webpage. Who knows, we might just answer your question here in the studio audience next.